All right, great. Welcome again. Welcome, everyone, and welcome to Pcloudy's webinar on AI automation and multi-experience testing for digital banking apps. My name is Dinakar, and I'll be the host for today. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few housekeeping rules. If you would have noticed, your line is currently muted. If you do have any questions, you can always submit them during the webinar using the Q&A option available. We will answer that as part of the Q&A section at the end of the webinar. So do keep your questions coming in, and we will pick that up towards the end. Please note that this webinar is being recorded, and we will send out the link of the recording to share with your colleagues, or if you want to watch it again. With that said, let me introduce the speaker for today, Shoaib Ahmed. Shoaib is a pre-sales manager at Pcloudy. He has around 11 plus years of experience in the IT industry. Prior to his role at Pcloudy, he has worked with Micro Focus as a pre-sales consultant. He has done this as an application delivery management portfolio. He has catered to different technologies such as DevOps, automation, performance, cloud, and mobility. So without further ado, let me hand it to our speaker, Shoaib Ahmed.
Thank you so much, Dinakar, for the warm welcome and welcome everyone for this webinar. So this webinar will be focusing especially around the digital banking, right? We are into the AIs and the automations, and also by taking how we can test the multi-experience across the digital banking. All right, so I would be interested to understand your use cases, the scenarios as well. So feel free to write in your questions or any thoughts about mobile banking or anything around the banking sector. Any complex scenarios that you are looking to test. So feel free to put that in the chat. So this session is around 45 minutes. So I'll try to uh, cover the presentation in the first 15-20 minutes, and then followed by a live demo on some of the complex use cases across the digital banking side. All right, so without further delay, so let me get started, and let's try to understand how today's banking and financial services landscape looks like. So if you look at the banking landscape, so if you just go back a couple of decades back, right? So the banking was completely different, where even for creating an account within the bank or even for having a transaction, there's a huge queue where we stood and then made a transaction, or even for opening a bank account. Now everything has changed with the evolving technologies. There are multiple applications that are developed. There has been digitization across the different industries, in particular banking. So there has been a lot of digital channels, be it from mobile side, even on the mobile applications and the web applications, on the online websites. So it's necessary to scale across all these digital channels with different self-service portals like chatbots. It can be through email or even the telecaller communications and so on. And also when we talk about the customer experience has gone way high, right? So gone are the days where the customer experience was not prioritized, but now the customer experience is gone really high with the digitization in progress across the global community. The expectations of customer has really gone high, where they expect 24/7 online services, and with the lightning responses to the queries, and also have a pleasant user experience, right? So that's something which we are seeing right now. And then when we talk about the regulatory requirements, the regulatory requirements have been very much stringent, right? So there are provisions where we have to make sure that the environments that we use are as per the regulatory compliance set by the organizations, or from the banking side, or even from the global community side across. So make sure that we have an environment where we test our applications which compliance with the regulatory which has been set. And of course, on the technology, when we talk about the technology, it has changed drastically from moving from the legacy to everything on the digital side. where we have multiple applications. There are hundreds of applications to deal with, and even the processor. So we talk about the AI. So AI has been leading. So based on the Gartner's report, recent survey states that 70% of the interactions from the customer side would be involving emerging technologies. So that would involve the AI, the MLs, the chatbots, and also the mobile messaging. So let's try to understand how these demands can be met by the QA. So first is to ensure that there is a strict regulatory compliance which is integrated within every testing cycle. So make sure we have an environment that can help test my applications with the set of regulatory compliance that has been set. And not just that, but also test your applications across various different models. There are the device. When we talk about the devices, the device fragmentation is so huge. So we have to make sure to give the better digital experience, test the applications across various different fragmented digital solutions, and also the devices, and also the browser versions, and also OS. And not just test on one particular app, but also across all the multi-channel ecosystem, right? So ensuring all the digital touch points work together, from mobile to web, and web to the chatbots, and even to the messaging side. So that's whole together a multi-channel ecosystem. And then there are some complex use cases, so which needs to be handled. So how are we going to do the how are we going to handle these complex use cases? So when we talk about complex use cases, it can be a biometric testing. So biometric testing is been a very key feature, a functionality rather, right? So we have to make sure how are we going through this biometric. There are various different technologies again with the biometrics. To ensure the security for the authentication of the application. So we have to make sure that we handle all these complex use cases, along with some applications which are inbuilt with the OCR technology, where you want to extract the data, and there are many others. And the last is to, of course, optimizing the application experience with some actionable insights, so which will help you detect and resolve the issues quite faster, right? So these insights are very important. How are we going to get these insights? So here is one which I just wanted to present and understand from the community across whosoever has attended the session today's webinar. I want you to guys go ahead and then answer this. We'll give you 30 seconds. So here is the first poll, right? So it says, what is your biggest challenge in testing banking applications? So you can select your choice here, all right, and let us know, so that we also understand the challenges that you guys are facing in today's life cycle. All right, so I can see more traction towards the first option, where we talk about the complex use cases across the biometrics and OCR. And also, if there are any further use cases which you think which is not listed here, you can always feel free to put that in the chat. Maybe we can take that up, while I'm done with the demo, and maybe while handling the Q&A session. All right, so thanks for answering the poll number one. So there is one more poll. So we look forward for your patience and interactions as well. All right. So with that, let's get into our topic. So let's try and understand. So is your current testing stack capable enough of addressing these evolving demands? So whatever the evolving demands that we have seen in our previous slides, so is it capable enough of handling all these? Right? So that's a question mark. So Pcloudy has been the first AI-built unified app testing suite, right? Which is replacing all the fragmented legacy testing tools with unified codeless automation, and then the scalable test infrastructure, and also the digital experience monitoring powered by all the AI capabilities, right? So which will help all our QA engineers to deliver the superior digital experience, faster pace while being secure, right? So this is what we are referring to. So, and we will deep dive and understand all of the different use cases. So first, let's try to understand each of the different sections here. So first is, of course, on the codeless automation side, where we are talking about the digital quality assurance on the cloud side. So codeless automation is nothing but, it's more of a no code low code solution, where you can create your automation scripts across web, mobile, desktop, even on the API side, without having any programming skills as such, right? Which will help you speeden up your test creation process, right? Imagine if you have to create the scripts by writing a code. So this would take a lot of time to create the script, and also there's a dependency on the resource skills. So this will eradicate where you can create any, even the business analyst would be able to create their automation scripts across all these different layers and then execute it on our test infrastructure. So we have a very scalable infrastructure where you can find real physical devices across different models, different OS versions, different browser versions, and so on. So where you can test seamlessly in one single platform. And if you look at the some of critical banking testing scenarios, right? So these are some of them which we have highlighted, where we see a drastic challenge in today's time. So once these are those. So biometric is something where I just spoke about. So it's one of the important functionality to authenticate the applications and making sure the application is absolutely safe from in terms of the user data and so on. So how are we making sure that we test with the biometric functionality, and also does the platform has capability to capture the data from the image that you're trying to scan, right? We're talking about the OCR here. So OCR is basically extra capturing the data from the content that you're trying to scan. It can be a bank check, or it can be an ID, it can be a passport, or anything, right? So where we have a frequent analysis where you get to scan while we are onboarding any customer, right, or making applications. And then we're also seeing a lot of traction across the liveliness testing. This is one of the key feature, right? This is from the KYC standpoint. All the fintech organization are moving towards having a liveliness test where the application asks the users to be in front of the camera and do the as per the prompt says. So how are we going to test this liveliness testing on the cloud? All right, so that's something which is important. So we'll understand from the solution standpoint, and then of course on the payment testing side, we will look into the various different payments option, how are we going to test the Apple Pays and the Google Pays and so on. And also when we talk about the media testing is also one of the important key functionality nowadays, where you would like to test for the voice assistant, right? So nowadays everything is going towards the voice assistant. So with the voice assistants, you're capable enough to do many things, right? Even if you have to pay a credit card bill, you can, on most of the bankings towards the west region have already adopted, and this we are seeing traction even across the APAC regions, where they have integrated with the media, so they can interact with the voice assistant and get the instant transaction report or do some payments as such. And when we talk about the the customer journey from end to end validation standpoint, so these are few which we will be discussing in today. So the first is on the functional validation side. So make sure whatever apps that you have built, ensure the functionality of an application is validated thoroughly. Test each and every different functionality, and then of course test it across various different browser combinations. So that's something which is very important to make sure the application works seamlessly without any issues. And then visual intelligence is more to do with any visual image bugs, right? So while we have multiple releases, so the releases are quite frequent nowadays, right? So to understand if there are any visual bugs within the UI, so while my automation regression testing is going on, so make sure there are no UI bugs within the application. So that's something which we will, the solution can help you provide. And then not just that, accessibility testing is very important. So make sure the application is usable by across all the users, be it from the any user with a disability. All right. So making sure that we adhere to all the industry standards, like for example, ADA, that is American Disability Act. So make sure the application works. So there are few functionalities which can help test across the accessibility testing feature as well. And regression is something which is very important, which we quite often have to test. So where we see if there is any impact to my application with the code change. So making sure. So there are some intelligent AI powered based self-healing concepts which can help automatically heal your applications or heal the scripts, so you don't have to spend much time on the recreating of the script. So this will save about 60% of your test execution. I mean, on the test maintenance standpoint. And of course, on the live monitoring side, this is leading to actionable insights. So where we talk about all the key metrics, right? So that gets generated. So while the testing is going on, so understand what is the UI performance metric. So when we talk about UI performance metric, this is to do with more with the page loading time. So while the application is testing, so while you are testing, so make sure how much time it takes, and then drill down to understand if it's taking, if it's lacking the, if the time taken is more. And then not just that, even the backend and the network API calls. So we make sure that we provide these key insights, so which will help us understand if there are any issues at the network layer, all the HTTP requests and their responses, and also all the detailed session logs are provided, so which can help identify if there are any bottlenecks at the application level, and along with key performance metrics, which talks about the CPU, the memory, and the battery consumption and so on. So all these insights are very key to understand if there are any bottlenecks within the app, and help optimize the experience of the application by fixing these. All right. So now to have a platform like a Pcloudy, where we have multiple offerings, all right. In particular, so today's focus is more on the digital banking. So there is a combination which is working quite well, right? So we want in terms of having the regulatory compliance, so we have made sure we have come up with a lab in a box which will be hosted behind the customer premise, right? So there's no longer need wherein if there are any strict regulatory compliance where the data cannot go out of the organization, in such bankings or such organization, this play and plug and play box really works, wherein we come up with a small setup box, right, which contains all the key servers and the place to host the devices, right? So which can be, which is very much portable, plus a combination of a dedicated private cloud. So this dedicated private instance is hosted on Pcloudy's data center, in secure data center, where you can gradually scale up, right? So it can be a combination of both. So we call this as a hybrid cloud. So it can be combination of both. So with that, you will be able to achieve most of your use cases, and also being adhering to the stricter regulatory compliance. So let's try and understand the digital infrastructure in detail. Right. So when we talk about the digital infrastructure, so the first, of course, what we are suggesting is to start small with the plug and play kind of a lab setup, right? So which is very much plug and play. We come up with a hardware software lab in a box environment, which includes all the key components and a place to host the devices. So the users can just plug and play the devices. It has zero latency, almost near to zero latency, and it is very much portable. It does not require a huge space. It just requires a small space where you can have placed anywhere within the lab in your premise. And the very important part is no data leaves your network. Everything will be behind your firewall, so that you can confidently test and also make sure that you have a really readily available setup. All right. So now, once you start small, once you gain that confidence that you're able to test, and when you go ahead with the regulatory compliance, so we have a private cloud instance as well, where you can scale gradually. All right. So this private cloud setup will help you scale a more number of devices. All right. In case, so this will help you from the maintenance standpoint. You don't have to worry about the infrastructure hassle. All right. So it's pretty much managed by Pcloudy, and it is very much secured in our Pcloudy's data center. So we have all the security standards, be it ISO 27001 or SOC 2 compliance, the HIPAA compliance, the GDPR compliance, and so on. So we adhere to all these industry standards. So we have many clients who have already implemented the private cloud setup. All right. And then the benefit of having a private cloud is you get 24/7 technical support, right? And that's something which is very important in today's time, right? So this is the model, right? So which we are proposing to all our banking clients in particular, if they are not really ready to go to the cloud. So rather, we ask them to start small with a plug and play lab. All right, a quick snippet across the omni-channel banking, right? Where we have mobile applications as well as the website. So these are some of the top functional validation use cases. It can be a user login scenarios, all right? There could be a fund transfer, or even the loan application process, or even across the payment gateway integrations. So all this can be functionally tested, all the critical journeys, right? It can start from mobile, then it can go to web, and so on. So entirely on different omni channel, you can seamlessly perform your testing by testing it on real physical devices that are hosted on our cloud. and also do the cross-browser validation in case if it's a website that you're testing it. And also, as I mentioned, so visual intelligence is something which will automatically heal, identify the visual bugs and help you provide the screenshot of it. So that can help you save a lot of time. All right, and when we talk about the automation part, as I mentioned, codeless automation, so you can automate the entire process, right? All the many frequent repeated tasks that you are looking to perform, right, across omni-channel, or be it on bank, on the website, or even the mobile application. So you can seamlessly automate with a simple plain English language. So there is no technical skills whatsoever is required. Even the business analyst or the SME would be able to create the automation script. It comes up with a record and playback feature where you can seamlessly record the entire flow for both mobile as well as browser instance and do your testing. And when there are new releases of your applications, and when you want to test it with the same application, same script that you have created, you can just run it and see if there are any issues. Also, if you want to handle all the changes, right, all the application changes, any object property level changes, it's been handled through our AI powered self-healing feature, which will automatically identify the change within the application or the object property level, and it is intelligent enough to understand the change and automatically heal your script. So that's something which you have an option of using it. So that's something which you can do it. So which will help you you know prevent the automation scripts from failing, right? So that's something which is an option which can be taken care. It's called as a self-healing. And yeah, of course. So as I mentioned, so across all the different multiple channels, not just mobile and web, but also even on the desktop side. So you can seamlessly automate all the different scenarios. And and so I'll just quickly try to highlight a few of the critical scenarios that we see in today's time. All right. So when we talk about the QR code scanning, right? So this is something I know that how we are supporting. So we are supporting all the scanning process, be it from OCR side or even from the QR code. You can scan the QR code or the barcode and test it while you're functioning. You don't have to skip these functionality as such. And then when we talk about the biometrics, so biometric is something is very important functionality to make sure the authentication works properly. So we have made sure we've been tested across all the different devices and also on the OSs, be it from Androids or even on the iOS side. And liveliness testing, as I mentioned earlier, this we have seen a lot of traction across the fintech organization, where liveliness testing is something which has been on priority. So how are we going to test liveliness? So we will help you upload the image or even a quick video that can be injected during the runtime, which can help test for the liveliness testing. And of course, we also support on the passcode validation. So if the application demands you to set up a passcode, you can seamlessly do it. So that's something which is supported. And so we spoke about the accessibility testing, right? Making sure the application is usable by all the users. It could be even from the voice assistant side, you want to hear the sound of it, or it could be the screen readers. And also, you can also perform few simulations around network, where you can throttle the network and test it across various different real world networking conditions, be it from 2G, 3G, 4G, and so on. And not just that, even from the payment testing, as I mentioned, so we do support all the payment different types, can be from Google Pay or even Apple Pay can be set up. So you have to do a small configuration. So once that configuration is done, you shall be able to do it along with the OTP and the notifications. So these are some of the crucial, critical banking scenarios, so which we will try to cover in our demo in some time. All right. So now coming to our very important a feature. I mean, this is something which we are going to launch. It's already in the beta phase. So it's called as a Q Pilot. So what is Q Pilot? So Q Pilot is basically it's a Gen AI, right, which helps you automate your critical user journeys. So here are some of the critical user journeys. So where you can, with simple prompts, all right, with simple prompts, like just write in natural language, like entering the username or the password, and then click on login button. So you can just convert the natural language into an automated test scripts. So it's done by the Qpilot. You don't have to worry about writing the scripts as such, right? So Qpilot is capable enough of handling the automation of critical user journeys. Just provide the prompts and all the user journeys. So the Qpilot takes care, and it will generate the scripts on multiple languages. You have an option of selecting in different languages, can be in Python, JavaScript, C Sharp, and so on, and then execute it on our hybrid cloud, right? So be it on on-premise or even on the private cloud setup, so you can execute it on multiple devices, and and plus you get a live monitoring, so which will basically talk about all the insights, right? So which includes all your performance metrics from CPU to battery, and the and also the memory consumption, and also the detailed session logs. So all these key metrics are very important while we are testing. So this will help us analyze and understand the the application behavior when we are testing, and doing at a rapid faster pace. You don't have to write a script as such, but rather it's this is something which will be taken care. So we have a separate webinar planned for Qpilot very soon. So we want you to participate in this Qpilot webinar, which will be very interesting, where we will be showing how the Qpilot actually works and how it can solve your problems in today's digitalization process. With that, I think there's one more poll to it. Yeah, can we have a quick poll, please? All right, so I just wanted to understand. So this webinar is planned on 16th of October. So we want to understand whether you want to know how it works, right? So please go ahead with your answers. Next 20 minutes, just 20 seconds. All right. Thank you so much for your poll. Very much interesting. So I can see a lot of people signing up, showing interest in knowing how Qpilot works. So we look forward for your participation in that as well. All right. So with that, maybe I'll just quickly couple of slides, considering the time. Check. I think we have another 15 minutes. So we have a seamless integration across ecosystem, right, from different automation solutions. So not just from the codeless automation point, even from in case if you have created your existing scripts on APM, Selenium, right, so in on the XUI test and so on, so you can seamlessly integrate with Pcloudy and execute. That's something which is already there across all the automation frameworks, different IDs, CI/CD pipelines. Of course, you can integrate and execute through the CI build, and also app distribution and so on. Right. So that I mean, a quick slide about that talks about how you can unlock a new value stream across your banking and financial services, right? So how you can make sure that you increase from the revenue standpoint, right? By unlocking a comprehensive testing for your payments, your onboarding experiences, even ensuring the flawless transactions across, and making sure the customer has a higher expectation conversion rates, plus unlocking the superior customer journeys, right, through rigorous multi-channel testing, and that can elevate the customer experience, that can also help build the NPS scores, and also net overall, if you look at it, how can we reduce the operational cost? So this is by adopting the automating routines of basic testing tasks, and also leveraging the cloud infrastructure, so which can significantly reduce the manual efforts and also the infrastructure expenses. And the very important is the time to market, so where we help you to unlock the faster release cycles by using the AI powered test automation, which can further reduce the time taken to deliver the new feature sets to the customer, and of course gaining the strength across the digital trust, right? So where where the customers can confidently test their applications across various different omni channels, and also all the critical scenarios like the biometrics, and also the OCRPs, and ensuring the safe digital interactions. Right, so there are some success stories. I don't want to spend much time here, but yeah, overall, if you look at it, a few of our clients who have been using our platform, these were their challenges and the solutions, and that resulted in drastic improvements. So the revenue really got saved, and also from the test coverage standpoint. All right. And when you talk about our customer structure, so we have a dedicated support team where you get 24/7 available with complete full platform enablement sessions provided while we are onboarding any customer. And there are some certifications, trainings that we go through. So that will help improve the knowledge base of the product, and also on the technology standpoint. And also we make sure we have a dedicated customer success manager, right? And we also have a premium onboarding from the customer service standpoint. All right. And so few of our global enterprises who are using Pcloudy, so these are those. I mean, these are the recent wins across the banks and financials in particular. So there are many more lined up. So with that, I mean, let's get into a a live demonstration of few of our critical use cases. And now just switch my tabs. All right. So I mean, it's a pure SaaS-based solution, be it from the on-premise side, in case if it's on-premise, so you can make it as a centralized location and access it anywhere, anytime. And yeah, you can quickly sign up to our product and then sign in. So let me sign in to our public cloud platform. All right, so there are various different models, public, private, even on-premise. Public model is more to do with on-demand basis, but for banking, we strongly recommend to go either with on-premise or on the private cloud. So that's a quick landing screen where we have a quick chatbot assistance called as Alfie. So where you can do a lot more, right? If you want to quickly generate your automation scripts for some particular application, you can just run through it. Or if you want to understand, list of Android devices or iOS devices, all that can be done with single button. I will not touch base across here. So three important sections. One is the codeless automation piece, where you can automate all your applications, be it web, mobile, desktop, APIs, applications, right? So you can incorporate web, mobile, also APIs within the single test case, right? So anyone can record the scripts, as it's a framework agnostic, and also anyone can create. There is no technical resource, technical knowledge spread as said it's required. So you can create a script and then execute it on our test infrastructure. So we have a huge infrastructure where we have real mobile devices, also real desktop browser machines, right? So if I just quickly show you the device list. These are the real physical devices. So where you can test across various different models, diverse screen size resolutions, and so on. And similarly, the browser instance, where you can test your web applications across different OSs, different OS versions across Windows and Mac. Then followed by the last piece is the management solution. So this product also is coupled with the test management solution, which is called as quality lifecycle management, which can help you plan or manage all your projects, your releases. You can get the release analytics and also use the user stories. You can upload your user stories in case if they are on your local machines on your Excel sheets. You can plan user stories. You can create tests, both manual as well as automation, and also test runs for manual automation. And then, of course, we do also have a ticketing mechanism, which is basically where you can raise the defects. So net, you can perform all your test management solutions within this product. And this QLM comes as an add-on, right? It does not have there's no associated pricing to it. So you can seamlessly use the quality lifecycle management, so that it becomes a comprehensive single solution to manage all your end-to-end testing solution. You don't have to log into a separate solution to log a bug, right? So while we have integration with the other test management tools, in case if you're already using like the Ziras, the ALM Octanes, the Qtest, and so on. All right, so that's pretty much. So with that, let me quickly try to acquire few devices, maybe one on the Android and even on the iOS. So let me move one more window. Maybe I can open it here. So if I have any device in my mind, say for example S20, let me quickly connect it. And also on the iOS side, let me filter it. iOS, maybe I can connect. All right, so let's try to understand some scenarios. I mean, real-time scenarios where we can, test the application with. All right, so once the device is acquired, the complete access of the device is provided, right? So now you can go ahead and then, install your application. If your application is in the Play Store or App Store, you can simply get into the Play Store, App Store, download your app. Or if your application is in the form of APKs and IPA file, then there is a place where you can upload all your test data, right? APKs and IPA files within my data section, right? So that's something which you can do it. So once you upload your application, you can see all your apps that are uploaded to the section, right? So these are some of my apps which I already have. Otherwise, we do also have integrations with the test flight. In case if you have your beta builds on the test flight for the iOS, we have integration with that, so that you can seamlessly access the test flight and access your application. In case if you're using Microsoft App Center for distributing your app, so we have seamless integration with this as well, where you can simply provide the App Center token and you can see all the list of the other applications as well. All right, so with that, let me open up maybe one more tab just quickly to show you the my app data section, where we are trying to upload all the the APKs and the IPA files. All right. So let's keep this very straightforward. Okay. So there are various different scenarios that we have discussed in particular for the banking. So I'll try to cover a few of them. Right. Maybe we can look at biometrics, and also we can also look at the OCR piece. Right. So the prerequisite to perform the biometrics or the image injection of the application is first to upload the application and then do a small instrumentation process. So to do the instrumentation, you can just get into the action and then do this, right? So for biometric, in case if you are authenticating for the biometrics of your application, just perform this. So we will add all the relevant libraries to your application, and your application will be renamed with the same name, biometric auth, and then timestamp.apk. In case if it's OCR, then you do the image injection, right? So these are the prerequisites. So make sure that you do it. Now let me go ahead without wasting much time. So maybe I can get started with the OCR first. So I have already instrumented the application. That's why you see the name as image injection, and then install it. Also, what you can also do is whatever images that you want to upload or whatever content that you're going to scan here, right? So you can upload it to the cloud drive. So it can be a scanner, or it can be an ID, or it can be a passport, or any. So I've already done it. So now, as you can see, so let me go to image injection and then just try to inject an image. All right. So it can be an ID, it can be a passport, or it can be a bank check as well. We'll start with the ID. This is one of our customers' ID. So a sample dummy. So let's get the process started. I'll just click on camera. So once the camera is allowed access, you'll see a black screen because these devices are hosted in our data centers. Yeah, just click on OK, and you should be able to see the image that we have uploaded. Yeah, as you can see, the image has been ready. Now, once I do the crop, all the relevant information. So the OCR technology is inbuilt in our platform, which helps you scan the details, scan the text from the image that you're going to scan and populate the result accordingly. Right? Likewise, you can also do it for other images as well. Can be like we took an example of ID. Maybe I can quickly take a passport as well. Just let me try it and inject it. Yeah, the passport is successful. Go to the camera, click OK, and you should be able to see the passport. All right, so let me crop it, and whatever details that are there within the section, crop section, this will be populated as a result. So this will help you validate or test any OCR functionalities of your application. All right, so that's on the OCR side. And now coming to a biometrics part, let me quickly perform a few things. So again, I have instrumented the application with the biometrics feature. So that's a prerequisite. So once the application is once the application is instrumented, just go ahead and then install. This is a sample dummy application where we are just going to authenticate. All right. So yeah, when I say on register, now it is asking for a prompt where I have to authenticate. So since these devices are on the cloud, how are we making sure that these applications are authenticated? There's a touch ID feature, right, with desired results. So when I click on pass, the authentication will get passed. Similarly, when I click on fail, the authentication will be failed. This is basically for the negative scenario. So this is something which you can seamlessly do it. So as you can see, the app has been authenticated now successfully without any issues. So this is something where we have brought a recent change in our platform, where with the advanced biometrics has also been, we were able to handle it. All right. So that's something on the few of some of the use cases. And similarly, even on the payment testing side, you can set up the Apple Pay and the Google Pay and so on. On the iOSs, maybe I can quickly show a few things. The accessibility side, you can test the audio as well, right? If there are any scenarios where you want to test the audio of your application, or the audio that you're playing, be it a video or audio. So that's something where you can quickly enable it. Now it's been enabled with audio. So whatever content that you play, right, will be played and you'll be able to hear it. So that way you will be able to test it. Screen readers, of course, if you want to test it from the disability standpoint, you can simply change the settings to screen reader, and whatever actions that you perform, you'll be able to test it. So that's something which is there. And then even on the face IDs, I mean, this is something which is very much similar. If you have any applications, you can test it for the face ID feature as well. So now maybe I can show you a QR code scanning process here. Again, this is a sample application where I have instrumented, right, by using a sensor feature in case of iOS device. So it says scan text here. Maybe I can just simply inject the QR code during the runtime. Yeah, let me select the QR code scanner. So you can just inject it during the runtime. Yeah, as you can see, yeah. So it's just a sample app again. So it was able to read the QR code scanner and populate the UPI details, right? So it's a phone pay thing. So all these different kind of scenarios, even from the liveliness testing standpoint, all the complex use cases which we have discussed, we pretty much support. So we want your support here to, we want you to use these features, different features, and also come up with some features which are very complex in nature in today's digitalization process where you are facing some challenges. So feel free to let us know. With that, I conclude this demo. So considering on the timeline, so I can take a few questions. We have more minutes to take the questions up. So yeah, with that, I'll just quickly open up for the Q&A session. Then we can conclude it. Right, so let me read out the questions which we already have. Okay, so there are a few questions. So let me try to answer. I mean, considering the time, I'll try to answer personally as well in case because of the time if I'm not able to answer it. Okay, so there's one question from Murugan who says, is it possible to have a API, UI, and APK testing together? Absolutely. I mean, Pcloudy's unified app testing platform is based on this, right? So where you can test all your different types of applications, right? Be it API, UI, APK, even web, and also desktop application, right? In case if you have deployed, but if you're NetNet, if you want to test all these applications together, you can very well test it. You can create the automation script on the UI and then have your APIs inbuilt where you can test for the API sections in case if you want to extract some data over from your server and then use the responses in your subsequent test cases. So that's something which we can do. So it can be a combined scenario which we can very well do it. Right. So that's something which you can do it. So then there are questions like all right, so there's one interesting question. What is unique about this compared to the OpKey One software? So, okay, I mean, OpKey One is another product which is focused more on the ERP application side, right? So, automating all our enterprise applications from Oracle eBiz to Oracle Fusion, SAP, and even the mainframe application. So ERP is mostly the OpKey One is mostly focusing across the enterprise applications, right? Whereas pCloud is more into the test infrastructure and also the codeless automation for web, mobile, and desktop applications. All right, so that's the one of the difference. But again, OpKey is also our own product from our different stack. Hope that answers your question. And then I think there are some more queries. How do we replicate testing the integration with banking apps? We want to run these scenarios numerous times of the year, but the bank test tenant may not always be available. Can this tool dummy those integrations, both send and response? I think we can replicate this. Maybe we need to understand a little bit more in detail. Darren, I would like to connect in person with you. I mean, remotely, of course, we can connect to understand more in detail about your use cases. Uh, right. So where we help you understand from your the use case challenge that you are currently facing it. I have got an overview, but would like to understand in detail before I give my answer to you. All right, so yeah, I'll reach out to you. Maybe I have your email IDs, and yeah, I can reach out to you. Maybe you can help me explain better on the use case challenge and show you, in the response what we have. All right.
Uh, Sorry to cut you short, Shoaib. I think we're running a bit over time. We have another webinar coming up. I'm so sorry that we couldn't answer all of your questions, but we will do that offline. I'm sure Shoaib will kind of go back and answer your questions via email, or one of us will get in touch with you and see how we can answer them. Is that okay, Shoaib? Is that okay?
Absolutely fine. I mean, yeah, we are running out of time and we have another webinar. So yeah, so I'll reach out to you guys. I mean, for those who I could not answer, there were a few questions around across performance testing as well. I really wanted to answer, but yeah, I will take it up. I know this person. Yeah, I can reach out to you. Thank you so much for that question. So with that, I conclude. Yeah, over to you, Dinakar.
All right, great. Thank you, Shoaib. Thank you for sharing your valuable insights. I'm sure it has sparked a few ideas for the people attending here. Something to think over, something to mull over. And you can always feel free to reach out to us with any questions. You can just go on our website, pcloudy.com, use the chat option there, or you can write to us at info@pcloudy.com. Also, a quick plugin about the qpilot.ai that Shoaib mentioned. We will be doing a webinar on the 16th of October. You don't want to miss this one because QPilot is going to be a game changer. By just a few simple prompts, you're able to create automation scripts. And that's going to be a big thing in autonomous testing. So be there, be sure to join in, and we'll see you there. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much,
Thanks, Shoaib.
everyone. Have a good day.